The Galactic Empire had ruled the stars for a very long time. No one alive remembered a time before it. Their fleets guarded thousands of systems, their laws shaped entire species. Their enemies were crushed before they even became threats. For centuries, the Empire believed one thing without doubt: nothing in the galaxy could challenge them. That belief broke in a single moment. Inside the Empire's central observation station, the day had started like any other. Officers watched glowing star maps. Data streams flowed calmly across massive screens. The silence in the room was not tension, it was confidence. Then a soft alarm sounded. At first, no one reacted. Minor alerts happened every day: false readings, sensor echoes, drifting debris. Nothing worth attention. The officers continued their work, barely glancing at the console. Then the alarm sounded again, louder. A junior sensor officer leaned forward in his seat. His eyes narrowed as he checked the data again. The reading made no sense. He adjusted the filters. The results stayed the same. "There is an object entering Imperial space," he said carefully. The command room stirred. A senior commander turned slowly. "Repeat that." "One object," the officer said. "Single ship, no fleet, no escort." A low sound of amusement passed through the room. "One ship," someone said. "Probably a trader that got lost or a smuggler," another added. "Barely worth tracking." The commander raised a hand for silence. "Show it on the main display." The star map shifted. A small mark appeared at the edge of Imperial territory. It was tiny, insignificant, and strange. The ship's energy signature did not match any known engine. It did not leave a heat trail. It did not bend space the way faster than light drives always did. It was simply there. "That's impossible," the commander said quietly. The technicians worked fast, checking the sensors again and again. Every system confirmed the same thing. The ship was real. "What species?" the commander asked. The officer swallowed. "Unknown, sir. No registry, no transponder signal." The commander frowned. "Open communication channels." They tried. There was no response. No signal returned, no message, not even background noise. The ship remained silent. Still, no one felt afraid. The Empire had faced silent enemies before. Silence meant nothing. Power did. "Send a patrol," the commander ordered. 2 ships. "I want eyes on that object." "Yes, sir." As the order went out, something strange happened. One of the star maps flickered. Just for a second. Then another screen glitched. A system map redrew itself, lines shifting slightly before returning to normal. "Report," the commander said sharply. The technician spoke, confused. "Minor sensor delay." It corrected itself. The commander watched the unknown ship's marker. It had not moved. And yet, "Distance check," he said. The officer paused. His fingers trembled over the console. "Sir, the object is closer." "That's impossible," the commander said. "It hasn't moved." "Yes, sir," the officer replied. "But it is closer." Before anyone could respond, the patrol fleet sent a signal. Then it cut off. "Bring them on screen," the commander demanded. The display changed. The 2 Imperial ships appeared, weapons charged, engines burning. And then the unknown ship vanished. No explosion, no flash of light, no trace. It was simply gone. The patrol ships slowed, confused. Their captains reported empty space where the target had been. A wave of uneasy silence filled the room. "Scan the area," the commander ordered. "Every frequency, every layer of space." The sensors searched. They found nothing. Before anyone could speak, a new alarm screamed across the station. This one was not soft. It was urgent. "Report," the commander shouted. The communications officer stood frozen, staring at his screen. "We just lost contact with 3 outer systems." The room went still. "That's not possible," someone whispered. 3 systems don't fail at once." "Show me," the commander said. The map changed again. 3 bright systems turned dark. No signals, no traffic, no emergency calls, just silence. "Enemy attack?" the commander asked. "No weapons detected," the officer replied. "No explosions, no debris." The commander slowly sat down. The unknown ship had appeared. It had vanished. And now, entire star systems were gone. A scientist stepped forward, voice shaking. "Sir, whatever that ship was, it was not a scout." "Then what was it?" the commander asked. The scientist looked at the darkened stars. "It was measuring us." The truth hit the room like a physical force. This was not an invasion. This was not a battle. This was a test. The Empire had been weighed. And somewhere in the dark between stars, something had decided they were not enough. The commander whispered the words no Imperial leader had spoken in centuries: "Raise the highest alert." Because deep down he already knew if one ship could do this, then the Empire was already standing at the edge of its end. The Galactic Empire did not panic, at least, not openly. The highest alert spread across Imperial space in minutes. Defense fleets powered up. Weapon platforms unlocked their cores. Command worlds sealed themselves behind layers of shields. The Empire had faced disasters before: rebellions, invasions, ancient weapons. Every problem had always ended the same way. With the Empire still standing, this time, they told themselves, would be no different. Inside the central observation station, the commander stood before the darkened star systems. His face was calm, but his eyes betrayed him. Those systems had not exploded. They had not been destroyed in any normal way. They had been silenced. Bring in the analysts, he ordered. I want answers. Scientists, engineers, and military experts filled the chamber. Data poured in from every surviving sensor array. The results were disturbing. There were no signs of battle, no energy spikes, no weapon traces. The systems were still there, their stars, their planets, but nothing worked. Power grids were dead. Ships drifted uselessly. Communications were gone. It was as if the systems had been turned off. That's not possible, one scientist said. No weapon can do this across multiple systems at once. The commander looked at him. You're saying this wasn't an attack? The scientist hesitated. I'm saying it was not an attack as we understand it. Before the discussion could continue, a new alert sounded. The unknown ship had returned. This time, it appeared deep inside Imperial space. Closer than before, the marker blinked into existence near a major shipyard world. Hundreds of Imperial vessels surrounded it within seconds. Weapons locked. Targeting systems screamed warnings. The Empire was ready. Fire, the commander said. Nothing happened. Weapons refused to engage. Targeting systems failed to hold a lock. Power levels dropped for no clear reason. The unknown ship did not move. It did not fire. It did not respond. It simply existed. Then, without warning, the shipyard world went dark. Every ship near it lost power at the same moment. Shields collapsed. Engines died. Crews were thrown into emergency lighting in silence. Panic spread through the fleet. Restore power. Engineering. Respond. Command. We are blind. Inside the observation station, officers shouted over each other. The commander slammed his hand down. Silence. The room obeyed. The unknown ship vanished again. Seconds later, power slowly returned to the fleet. No damage, no casualties. But the message was clear. The Empire had not been attacked. They had been stopped. This ship could have destroyed us, a general said quietly. But it didn't. The commander stared at the empty space on the screen. Why? Days passed. The ship appeared again and again, always alone, always silent, always beyond reach. Each time something important failed. A defense grid shut down. A fleet lost coordination. A planetary shield flickered for one terrifying second. The Empire realized the truth too late. The ship was not random, it was learning. Every appearance lasted a little longer. Every disappearance left deeper damage. We are being studied, the same scientist said. This ship is collecting data. Tactics, response times, weak points. By who? The commander asked. The scientist hesitated. By someone who already knows war. Finally, the Empire captured something new. A signal. It was not sent directly to them. It was caught leaking through space, weak and narrow, as if never meant to be heard. They decoded it slowly. The language was unfamiliar, but simple. The translation systems worked faster than expected. The first clear word appeared on the screen. Humanity. The room fell silent. Records were pulled immediately. Old reports, forgotten files, minor species lists. Humans, a small, distant civilization from the outer spiral, once considered for contact, later ignored, too divided, too aggressive, too insignificant. They were never a threat, an officer said. The scientist shook his head. We were wrong. The signal decoded further. It was not a threat. It was a statement. Observation complete. Response patterns logged. Probability of escalation confirmed. The commander felt something cold settle in his chest. This ship, he said slowly. It's not alone, is it? No, the scientist replied. It never was. As if summoned by the words, the unknown ship appeared again. This time it did not vanish quickly. It moved. For the first time, it crossed directly toward the Imperial capital system. Every defense platform fired. Every weapon failed. The ship stopped above the capital world, silent and untouchable. Then, for the first time since its arrival, it spoke. A single transmission echoed across all Imperial channels, clear and calm. This was your warning. No anger. No threat. Just fact. Then the signal ended. The unknown ship remained in place. And for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire understood something terrifying. This was not the beginning of a war. This was the moment after they had already lost. The unknown ship remained above the Imperial capital. It did not move. It did not attack. That silence was worse than any weapon. Across the capital world, billions watched the sky. Sensors showed the ship clearly, now smooth, dark and simple in shape. No visible weapons, no glowing engines, nothing that looked powerful. And yet, the greatest empire in the galaxy could do nothing against it. Inside the central observation station, the commander stood without speaking. Every option had been tested. Every defense had failed. The Empire had no answers left. Open a channel, he said finally. The officers hesitated. No one had ever spoken to an enemy like this calmly, without power, without control. The channel opened. The screen showed no face, only text and sound. A human voice spoke. .com/steady, almost gentle. This encounter is not a war, the voice said. Wars are loud. Wars are wasteful. The commanders listened in stunned silence. We prefer prevention. The commander swallowed. You crippled our systems. You shut down our fleets. Why? The answer came without delay. Because you were expanding, the human said. And expansion always leads to extermination. The word struck deeper than any blast. You judged us without contact, the commander replied. You attacked without reason. There was a pause. No, the human voice said. We observed for decades. You conquered weaker worlds, you erased cultures, you called it order. The screens around the room changed. Images appeared, records the Empire had buried long ago. Civilizations crushed, planets stripped, species relocated or erased. You were efficient, the human continued. That made you dangerous. The commander felt his strength leave him. So you sent one ship. Yes, one ship, not a fleet, not an armada one. The human voice continued, simple and honest. This ship is not a weapon in the way you understand weapons. It does not destroy matter. It controls systems. The scientist stepped forward, eyes wide. You turned off our empire. Yes, the human replied, because if we could not, then we would have destroyed it instead. The truth settled heavily over the room. This was mercy, a terrifying kind of mercy. The commander looked at the dark systems on the map. What happens now for you? The human asked. You survive. For the Empire. There was a longer pause this time. The Empire ends. Outside, the unknown ship began to move. Across the galaxy, something incredible happened. Imperial control networks shut down permanently. Not violently, not suddenly. They were released. Worlds once ruled by force found their systems unlocked. Defense grids fell silent. Fleets were left powerless but intact. No planets burned. No species died. The Empire simply stopped existing. Messages spread faster than fear. The Galactic Empire had fallen without a single battle. Other civilizations watched in disbelief. They searched for the human fleets that must surely follow. They found none. The unknown ship vanished one final time. Days later, a message reached every known species. It was short. We do not rule, it said. We do not conquer. We watch, and when necessary, we act. Historians would later argue about that moment. Some would call humanity cruel, others would call them saviors. But every civilization agreed on one truth. Humanity had changed the galaxy forever. They had proven that power did not need to be loud, that war did not need armies, that sometimes the most dangerous force was restraint. In the ruins of the old empire, the former commander stood alone in a quiet chamber. The stars outside looked the same as they always had, but everything else was different. He finally understood the mistake they had made. They had measured strength by size. Humans measured it by control. Far beyond the former borders of Empire space, humanity continued its work. Silent ships moved through the dark, unseen and unchallenged. They did not seek praise. They did not seek fear. They sought balance. And across the galaxy, one warning was passed from world to world, spoken softly but never ignored. If you ever detect only one human ship, the warning always ended the same way. It means the decision has already been made. Humanity did not conquer the galaxy. They simply made sure no one else ever could.